Hey guys, in this video I will be diagnosing a suspension clunk and fixing the suspension clunk. I'm doing this on my 2011 Kia Sorento here. A lot of times suspension clunks will be really hard to find. Mine in this case, I have already found it. If you look at my spring here, if I can get you in, that's part of the spring. And that piece down there is also part of the spring. So in this case, I have a broken spring, which I've never seen before, and hopefully the strut is fine because those are brand new. But yeah, I'm going to be replacing the spring, but I'm going to get this wheel off and show you some other places you can look. Alright, so with the wheel off, we can see that this is obviously our issue here. Sorry, the light's bad, but yeah, there's our spring loose in there. That's most likely our clunk. But some other places you can look, this is your sway bar end link right here. That has two bushings, one on this end, one down there. You can kind of see it, yep. Those can go bad and that can make it clunk. Also sway bar bushings, which would be more inwards of the car, could go bad. Lower control arm bushings could make it clunk. One there, one over further back here on my car. And then the ball joint, lower ball joint can make it clunk. Depending on your suspension configuration, you might have an upper control arm, which would be right about here, and then your shock would go through that. That will also have two bushings and a upper ball joint. Those can go bad. And even like top hats on your strut here can go bad and things. So a lot of places to look, but I'm going to go ahead and remove this strut here. So we have two nuts and bolts down here, and then up top under the hood will be 3 top bolts. Then we have our sway bar nut here and a brake or ABS sensor right here. And other than that, I think that that's all that there is to get this shock out. Alright guys, with the strut out we can see this a little better. You can see this is a brand new replacement strut. It's got like 2,000 miles on that. Along with the top hat, this is also new. These are a separate part. They swivel on these Kias, so if yours is rusty you might want to look into replacing that. But here's our spring, and this thing is just shot. Yeah, I can grab a piece of it out here. Maybe. Yeah. I'm guessing that's where our clunk was coming from. This is a little scary, honestly, that the spring broke in this thing. Like, it's not that old of a car, but whatever, we got a broken spring, so now we're gonna compress this. Well, I don't even know if I'm really gonna compress this one. Probably gonna compress this spring and then zip off the top nut here, get this spring off, and get our replacement one in. Alright guys, so we got the spring installed on the shock here. This whole unit is called a strut assembly, if you were wondering. Many of you probably know that, but there it is. So, new spring is on. You can see it is seated all the way down right to where it's supposed to be. This boot is, or the rubber isolator is a little ripped from the old spring, but that part doesn't necessarily touch constantly unless the car is under like severe load on this side, so I'm not super worried about it. The part that the spring is sitting on is not ripped or anything, so I think we're good there. Top cap, this one's getting rusty, but this is like a pretty brand new replacement. These really rust out quickly on these Kias. But I'm just gonna leave it, honestly. I don't really care that much. The car's probably, you know, not gonna be driven by me much longer than a year anymore. Much longer than another year. So, yeah, we got this all done. Sorry for the bad lighting again, but now we're going to go ahead and get this back in. I want to go over those steps really quickly. And sorry that I don't have, or I'm not able to like show myself working on this. I haven't got a head mount for the GoPro yet, but I'm gonna do my best to explain it here. So you got these two bolts. Those are a 17 millimeter head bolt with a 19 millimeter nut on them. And the bolts go through the front to the back. Not a huge deal, but that's the direction that they come from factory. And then this is another 19 right here. That's your sway bar end link. This is just a clip. And then up top here, you got the 3 bolts right there. And those are each a 14 millimeter, or no, 15 millimeter, my bad, with a rubber cap there. And that's really it. So I'm gonna get the strut in here, get at least one of these bolts in, line up everything on the bottom, and then tighten it all down. After this, I probably will have to get an alignment because your camber adjustment is with these 2 bolts on these cars. So really sucks because I just got a brand new alignment and yeah, now I gotta fix it again, but whatever, we're gonna get this shock installed. Hey guys, I was just finishing up editing this video and I realized that I did not film an outro clip. So really all that I wanted to say was that this is a pretty simple job and it should be pretty similar on most or a lot of vehicles. Many Japanese cars, other Kias, you know, Nissans, and really just a lot of small economy cars will have a very similar front suspension setup to this. You might have like different size bolts here and there, or you might have like a brake line clip, but really all in all, if your car's front wheel drive, it's very likely to have a similar suspension setup to this. And it's really not that hard to remove the strut. The only kind of hard part, I guess, is getting the spring off of the strut. That scares a lot of people, but if you get a spring compressor, it's really not that big of a deal. Just take your time and be careful. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I got. So if you guys have a clunk coming from the front of your car or something, I'd recommend looking into it. It's not that hard once you know, look into it, and you could do this job with basic hand tools. So that's all I got. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.